Hello, it's Anthony here for teijg.com. That's teijg.com. So this week's podcast proves to be a classic. It's not out yet, but it'll be up soon, and Eric's working on it now. And our special feature on the show is called Classroom Calamity. So here's a little bit of a teaser and see if you can work out what the story could be about. It's quite easy. You can announce one out in Australia. You can bugle one out in Brazil. You can crank one out in Cairo, or you can drill one out in Denmark. You can eject one out in Egypt, or float one out in Finland. You can gush one out in Germany, or hang one out in Hungary. You can initiate one in India, or jag one out in Japan. You can crank one out at the Kremlin, or launch one out in Lebanon. You can mould one out in Missouri, or needle one out in the Netherlands. You can orchestrate one out in Orlando, or pop one out in Paris. You can quiver one out in Queensland, or rudder one out in Rome. You can sneak one out in Sweden, or trumpet one out in Turkey. You can urge one out in Uruguay. You can vibrate one out in Venice. You can wrangle one out in Warsaw, or you can xylophone one out in Xanadu. You can yodel one out in Yellowknife, or you can zigzag one out in Zimbabwe. So there you go. That's a bit of a teaser. So have a listen to our podcast this week. It proves to be another classic, and sometimes we're a bit funny, and like sometimes we're serious, but we try to bring you an excellent power-packed podcast every weekend, and this week is no exception. Goodbye for now. Don't forget, go to teijg.com.